Listen to the greenhouse before I get mad.
One. All right, guys. Welcome back to episode 2 of the interview by Dre. Got another close friend of mine, considered my brother of mine. Known each other for years now. Got Tavon Grant on the show for this episode.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. You know, you're always welcome with the Greenhouse family. Some people might know who you are, because they see us post you guys all the time, especially like Jersey athletes and people from around this area. We like to promote them with a little extra love because we know what it takes to get out of this state and what it takes to excel yourself in any endeavor that you're taking part in. So we always try to show some love with that and try to salute our guys and women. And first of all, I would like to say it is Women's Appreciation Month. I know we have some women listeners and followers, so I'll give a shout out to them as well. And the female athletes, sometimes they do get overlooked. You might notice as well being a athlete yourself, especially when you're in school. Some female athletes don't get the same shine or respect as the male athletes. So we do want to show appreciation to them as well. I want to start out with talking to you about like your upbringing and how you got into sports, because me knowing you, I know football wasn't really a sport that you started, playing Pop Warner or flag football, and it kind of just came to you and you jumped into it and it took off. So how did you get into sports growing up, and what first sport did you fall in love with?
Growing up, for real, it was more so just running around. I ran track and field, played soccer a little bit, but my whole upbringing and growing up, I grew up in Jamaica, so that was the whole basis of what I was doing. I was just always outside, running around, no shoes on, just having fun. So I really just ran the majority of my whole childhood, and it just dabbled in different sports, like I said. But when I finally came to America, that's when I got introduced to football. So I didn't know what it was, and I started playing in high school, and then from there it grew.
Now, growing up in Jamaica, what part of Jamaica are you from?
St. Anne's.
I've never been, so I can't, I can't speak on it. But we always have conversations about you. Yeah, we always have conversations about you being back home and some of the goals that you have. So I think that's important too, that you always shout out where you're from and stand on that.
Gotcha.
Now, were there any athletes growing up while you were in Jamaica that you looked up to or that you saw and was like, hey, maybe I could do something like that? Or was it more of like looking at them up to, I want to have fun, I want to just run around?
And it was always just like the most competitive people, like the great athletes that I see was just people around me, like my family. It was always a competitiveness of like who's running. My sisters are run, cousin. So it's really just everybody having fun and unconsciously just competing. It just became a part of my lifestyle, for real.
So it's safe to say that you have a family of athletes or athletic family members around you.
For a period of time.
Okay. So were you always like the fastest or the strongest or the biggest growing up, or did you have to like kind of find your niche and get bullied a little bit?
Not for real. I could always run. So I was always the fastest, though. I gotta say that in my family. Growing up, when I came over here, that changed.
Yeah. Now going into that, I know you came over to New Jersey while you were still young, and you went to high school in Elmwood Park, correct? And that's where shout out to EP, formerly known as Patterson. We ain't gonna speak on that though. Was that the point where you kind of found football, or did you find football before that and never played? What was your introduction to the sport of football?
Well, like I said, when I came over, I I didn't really know what sports to do up here. So for a period of time, I just really sat around, got put weight on, stuff like that. So when we moved to EP, my mom introduced me to football. And like I said, I started in high school, and I really fell in love with it over there. The the aspect of family and everybody working towards this goal, and it's bigger than yourself. The whole thing. I came to understand that early, quick on, just starting playing. So that made it, and then running around, doing, making plays, stuff like that. That was fun. It was just, they made it simple for me to start. See the guy with the ball, get the guy with the ball. So shout out to EP. That's where I first kind of fell in love with the game.
What position were you playing? Were you playing both sides of the ball? Was it more like a defensive thing?
I really just played defense, so I always played like a DN.
Okay.
Coming in through high school.
I know you transferred over to Eastside High School in Patterson.
Right.
You played linebacker in college. Now, while you were in high school, once you transferred to Eastside, I know you fell in love with the defensive line position. Like you used to tell me, like I used to tell you, like yo, why you so quick with your hands? Like how'd you gain some of these skills when you just jumped into the game? You always used to tell me, I don't like being touched. I like putting other people on the ground.
Yeah.
So once you get to high school, you get to that position. I used to see you all the time, putting in the work, doing what you have to do to excel and be one of the leaders on the team. And you end up doing that. So your sophomore year, transferred over, we met, we instantly became friends, and we used to talk sports all the time. One thing that I didn't know about you is that you had a tremendous talent and skill. But one thing I did know for sure was that you were a scholar. You were very smart, very bright guy. You always prided yourself on that. So I want you to speak on that a little bit, trying to balance your love for football and how great you are in it, as well as your education at the same time. Starting from the high school level, I just want to, give the youth a little inspiration on how to guide yourself and mold a platform for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, didn't really treat it as a task. I just treated it as something that, had to get done. I mean, that all started, shout out to my parents, my mom. From that, no matter what you gotta do, regardless, you gotta get what needs to get done. So it was pretty simple. I mean, the courses itself was challenging, but that's a part of the whole process. I mean, at the end of the day, you come out with a higher learning. That's what it's all about. Football gonna help take care of what you need to take care of at the end of the day. So get that done, football gonna be that much better.
Yeah. Now, throughout your high school career, your progress took a level each year. Even each week, you got a little better and better as the week went. So what was the turning point for you that you began to realize I'm a little bit better than the average high school football player or student athlete, and I also have the academics to push me to the next level?
I say I realized when I could get to play football, continue to play, and don't have to pay for it, if I'm being honest. So that's when I realized, damn, I gotta take it serious. Like, this could be way more than what it is right now. But that coupled with, the love for the game, like passion, like, damn, I want to get to the highest point that I could possibly get with this. That just made the step just way easier.
Okay, so you always knew that you could take it to the next level and play collegiate football.
For sure.
Okay. Now you turn that confidence more in high school. People don't know, like you still kind of a quiet guy until you get around you and you start to loosen up a little bit. In high school, you acquire guys, stay to yourself, stay with the group of friends that you had. And, even some of the older staff members, you hung around them, soaked up game from them as well. So from that point, once you realize, okay, I can go to college, I can play the sport I love for free and get a free education. Also get a chance to experience something outside of New Jersey and just have fun with it. Once you get to college, what was your first wake up day? Like, damn, I'm here playing Division I football. Like, this is what I hope for.
To be honest, I don't think I had one of those. It was just like, man, you here? Just
Right? It was more like, hey, I'm at school, but I got practice.
man, I just got practice. Let me see what's good, explore. It's a different environment, so I'm more intrigued than anything.
Okay. Now, you went to school in Staten Island, went to college in Staten Island, and you were redshirt your freshman year, correct?
Correct.
All right. So your redshirt sophomore year, uh, you saw action in all 11 games. You had 2 starts, specifically in your position. You were a special teams star, and you also became one of the voices on your team as far as that front line and the linebackers, where you felt comfortable with one another and you started to build with each other. Now going to your next season, you played in 10 games. I believe you were injured one of the games out of the 11, um, and you had 11 tackles, 8 solos, um, which is pretty good. Out of 11, 8 solos out of 11, pretty good. You had 3 sacks, I believe, and 3 solo tackles in the opening game versus Saint Aslam. So once you started to get more and more playing time, did you become more confident, or was it just like, I'm out here now, let's rock and roll?
I mean, it's been the second option for real. So it was really just a matter of being out there. You know, once you're out there consistently, you could make that happen. And, you know, just add your own flair to it. So that's it.
Based on some of your numbers, and I just stopped at your second active year playing, because I believe that's when everything kind of took a change for the team as far as leadership, teammates, and coaching staff as well. You had guys like Julian McLeod, you had Chris Williams, you had got Cam Gill. So you got guys that are beast up there with you. And then the change of the whole staff and the culture up there in Staten Island, that kind of I feel it molded the team in a way where everybody started to believe a little bit more in their own skills and brought the team together. Can you speak on how that changed everything for the team?
So let's start with, for me, I firmly believe Coach Terrence Knighton, that's a guy that did it for everyone, really, that brought about immediate change the day that he stepped foot on that campus and, for that program. You know, he's a NFL vet 7-time, so 7-year. It's everything is credited to him. So you have a great group of guys, very talented, Julian McLeod, Cam Gill, Chris Williams, and Tony Graham, you name them. So it really made everything that much easier. The shadow of doubt of, you know, we can do this, we can get where we need to go was completely gone. You know, the confidence was there. And that inspired change among everyone, at least on the defensive side, and especially on the defensive front, and, you know, the linebackers. So playing with these guys was phenomenal. And it was really the best time you could ever have, for real.
Now you brought up the name Santoni Graham. That's your fellow linebacker. Now you always used to tell me like, yo, we got 2 dogs out there. It's you and him. Then you got the guys up front pushing, trying to make some plays. So how fun was it out there being with your brothers and flying around, making plays?
It absolutely, it was the best time for real. It was always, especially on the defensive line, it's really just about who gonna get there first. So every play, it was just all out fun. Guys just flying around, trying to make it happen, trying to be the first one, make a play. We set a standard for ourselves. We knew we couldn't fall short on no matter the day, practice, game. So it was fun competing with those guys.
Uh, yeah, jumping into the next season. Um, we had a couple minor injuries, nothing too crazy. I believe just what was it, like a ankle injury or something like that. Sprain, ankle sprain, normal football injuries, normal sport injury. But you did have 5 starts. Now was that at the defensive line position? Or the lady went back and forth between linebacker and defensive line.
So when T9 came about, that's when I firmly changed to being a defensive back. Put on weight, just try day in, day out to master my craft, master my skill, get better at a position that that I could really shine. And that's getting to the quarterback. So with that, with him, it brought about change, and that's when I started playing D-line fully.
Okay. So towards the end of the season, that's when you started to play defensive line, and you started to feel comfortable back at your old position again, which you're playing now. You were credited for 35 tackles, 19 solo tackles. So just so people at home can get this in their head, you went from 11 tackles, 12 tackles, excuse me, with 11 solos, up to 35 tackles, 19 solos, and had 7 tackles for a loss of a cumulative of 37 yards, 5 sacks. You had that for a total amount of 28 yards. So you also had interception and 2 forced fumbles that season as well. So that's a tremendous jump. Like you said, credit to Coach Knighton, who's actually a coach with the Carolina Panthers now. So going into that season, did you feel like it was something big in the works with the help of Coach Knighton and the guys up front, your fellow linebackers, or were you always ready? Like you said, you just needed that time to actually shine and get put in that position.
I mean, the beauty of it was the season before, before the start of the season, all the guys came together and with Coach Knight, and we really just talked, and we figured out that everybody was on the same page. We understood that Jill fighting for me, and I'm fighting for Jill, like Cam fighting for Chris fighting for him. We fighting for Tone, so Coach Knight fighting for us. So that really made what happened. Us believing in ourselves, us understanding that, damn, we all on the same page.
Right.
Made things easier. And we went in there, like I said, with a standard. We never fell below that, no matter the circumstance. That's what made that.
Okay. Now, as a friend, I'm going to tell you right now, I was highly disappointed that you only had 1 interception, because we know you had a couple chances to get a couple more. Turf Monster got you on one of those.
And we had those.
The Turf Monster came from the dead. Grabbed you by your ankle. You missed one of those.
Get one, at least one.
Had to get one.
Had to get one.
Got to get one. Now, with that being the interception that you had in that season, how can you explain the play? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember how you went into a drop, how you saw the ball, the play coverage? Try to explain the play to the best of your ability.
The players there, I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was a funny interaction between me and Tom. So I draw back, they snap the ball, and then I get hands on the tight end. So the ball ends up being popped in the air, and then Tone is going up to catch the interception. And I basically pushed the shit out of Tone and grabbed him up. I make a move, and then I got tackled. So that was the whole story about the interception. It was
Okay,
special.
so you robbed him with an interception. That wasn't your interception.
Problem. It was mine to take. He just ain't
Yeah,
go.
okay. He ain't jump high enough, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we're gonna jump into some of the things that you had to do in that off season. Going into, I was your senior year, going into the next stage of your life and your career. Where you finished school, you graduated with your bachelor's. What did you study in?
Biology and art.
Okay. That's a cool mix right there. I like that. What were some of your thought process going into that off season, knowing that you wouldn't be coming back to play football again, and that you'll be graduating? Did you pick up any hobbies, or were you just focused on bettering yourself and working out a little bit more?
Question. Can you repeat that question?
For the off season, going into the graduation year, did you have more time to explore more hobbies or things that you like to do, or did you focus on your workouts and excelling, trying to get to the next level of professional football?
I mean, that's always the focus daily. But yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I read a lot more. I definitely read a lot and try to play chess. I'm not that good, but I'm getting there for real.
Okay, you see, always got the chessboard right here waiting. So then you want some work, you know what I mean?
Ain't worry about you.
Phone.
But no, I mean, got to connect with family more. That was always good. It's always key. But yeah, nothing too crazy.
Now it's time to start thinking about pro football. So you came in contact, huh?
Doing that.
You said what?
Been doing that.
Been doing that. Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But then you ran into the business side of football, where you got to start meeting agents and doing all of this stuff and working out and keeping your body in shape, so you can stay prepared, being ready at all times, so you don't gotta jump up and get ready. What was that experience, knowing that you would have a chance to play professional football going to the next year?
I mean, I'm always grateful, for sure. But the business aspect of it, I was fortunate enough to network and connect with people that had, the best interest in me. So my talents, you know what I mean, is worthy of being played. Took a chance in me, so I'm grateful for that and for those people that helped me get there for sure.
Okay. So now at this point, we're in the present day. You are currently signed in the CFL, correct?
Right.
You're playing for
Edmonton football team.
The Edmonton football team. So now you're in Canada. Well, not now. Not in Canada right now. But now you're in Canada, getting a chance to do what you always dreamed of and what you always thought you would be doing. And now that you're at that point, how do you try to stay locked in? How do you try to stay locked in and do what you got to do to actually succeed and present yourself in a manner where you belong in the league and you do great things?
I mean, you just gotta maintain and strengthen that mindset that's always been there. As stay focused. You got some place that you gotta be. There's no other option for real. You just gotta get there by any means, make it happen. And understand that joy is the whole path. You know, it's not the end game. So that's really what I do for real.
Okay. Now, is there anybody that you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out my mom, family. Shout out, oh my God.
Not fresh.
Not fresh for real. So no. But I want to shout out to Sanguine. You know, shout out to Nah. Yeah.
Speak a little bit on that too. Sanguine, that's the clothing line, this clothing brand that you're associated with. Now, how did that come about? What was the vision for that?
You know, I was fortunate enough to be introduced to this person. His name is Nolly Garcia, you know, aka Glitch. So, you know, it was a special connection from the introduction. We sent our vision of wavelength was on the same level, so we connected from there. You know, we bring something special to the world. It's sanguine. You know, and the meaning is to be optimistic through bad or difficult situation. So, you know, what we bring, what we got cooking up, it's gonna be something very special. So check out Sanguine.
Yeah, Sanguine need to send us some merch over here at the greenhouse. We got you some merch. We'll send y'all some stuff. You know, we got something that works too, man. We got something for y'all.
Glad to hear.
With that being said, hey, episode 2 of Interview by Dre. Got my guy here, my brother, Tavon Grant. Hey, nah. Let me know where they can find you, where they can follow you at. Follow the brand Sanguine as well.
You hit me on Instagram at Tay Boogie, TayBoogie, and at Sanguine Apparel. Let's go crazy. Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt. That being said, we out.